Human consciousness has never existed separately from the body. The brain develops in constant interaction with sensation, the pressure of feet against the ground, the length of arms, the position of the head in space. From early childhood, the brain's cortex builds a body map, a dynamic schema that tells us where our limbs are, how much they weigh, and how they move. This is not just anatomy. It is the foundation of the sense of self. We don't think about where our hands are. We know automatically. Our sense of identity is largely built on the stability of this map. The body is not a shell. It is the interface through which consciousness interacts with reality. Hi, my name is Yolera. You wake up and choose a body. Today, taller. Tomorrow, more athletic. The day after, no back pain and perfect posture. At first, it feels like a brilliant idea. You walk to the mirror and think, okay, premium version unlocked. But within an hour, everyday reality kicks in. You reach for a mug and almost throw it against the wall. You're stronger than you're used to. You walk through your apartment and hit the door frame twice because you're taller now. And for the first time, a thought appears. Maybe changing the body is easier than adapting to it. What happens to the sense of self? How will the brain adapt? What happens to skills? How does age perception change? What happens to social bonds? How will medicine function? Can consciousness remain stable? And what do these have to do with the body map, foreign hands, phantom sensations, interface glitches, mismatched forms, forgotten skin, hormonal profiles, and personality? By day 3, something strange begins. You know how you laugh, but the new laugh sounds different. You record a voice message and replay it 3 times thinking, is that even me? You try walking quickly up the stairs and realize your stride is longer. You unlock your phone with face recognition, and it hesitates for a second. Sometimes it feels like you're not in your body, but in a rented one. Everything works, but it doesn't feel fully seated. And suddenly you realize that your sense of self updates much slower than your appearance. Each time the body changes, the brain rewrites its map. Movement and balance change. The skin perceives the world differently. Touch and temperature feel unfamiliar. Even your own face feels unfamiliar. This is called sensory mismatch. Biochemistry changes too. Hormones affect emotions and behavior. Each switch is a new environment for the mind. And the real question is, can the mind handle constant rewiring? Skills are not stored in consciousness alone. They are distributed between brain and body. When someone learns to play piano or ride a bike, motor memory forms. But these circuits are tuned to specific muscles, limb lengths, and contraction strength. If the body changes, movement parameters change too. A longer arm, different trajectory. Stronger muscles, different force. More flexible joints, wider angles. The brain preserves the algorithm, but physical execution requires correction. A person remains knowledgeable, but temporarily less precise. The skill doesn't disappear, it needs recalibration. The real chaos begins in society. Your friend today is in the body of an 18-year-old athlete. Tomorrow, in the body of a gray-haired professor. You meet and both pretend that everything is normal. Photos in your phone become outdated within a week. Compliments become dangerous. You look amazing today, and you're not sure which version that applies to. Age stops being an argument. You're a completely different person. Stops being a metaphor. Gradually, it becomes clear that we attach not only to personality, but to a walk, a voice, the expression of eyes. When these change too often, habit cannot keep up. If the body can be changed, age is no longer linear. The mind can be older than the body, or the opposite. But age is not just appearance, it's the state of the body, blood vessels, bones, immune system. By renewing the body, a person changes their biological time. But the brain ages by its own rules. It keeps experience, stress, and behavioral patterns. A gap appears. The body is young, but the mind carries years of history. This creates a new kind of age, the age of the mind. Human bonds are not based on words alone. They depend on microsignals of the body: voice timbre, facial expression, scent, hormonal profile. Attachment forms through repetition of these signals. If a person regularly changes bodies, partners, friends, even relatives face instability of sensory markers. The brain recognizes people through stable features. When those features disappear, recognition requires cognitive effort. Connection becomes more intellectual and less intuitive. This may expand understanding of personality, but complicate emotional security. The main question is, can the mind handle constant body changes? The sense of self is built on repeated sensations. If the body changes too often, disruptions appear: detachment, depersonalization, loss of identity. The mind begins to see the body as a tool, not as part of itself. This creates freedom, but weakens the sense of stability, and a new boundary appears between who you are and the body you are in now. After several months, people start changing bodies less often. Not because there are no options, but because they're tired of living in beta mode. Every time, new coordination, new voice tone, new handshake strength. Today you're faster, tomorrow younger, the day after, with a different hormonal background and a sudden urge to argue online. Each time you must get used to the mirror again. At some point, you choose not better, but familiar. Maybe without super speed, but without daily personality firmware updates, because consistency suddenly becomes a rare form of peace. If the body can be changed, medicine becomes selection instead of treatment. Organs are replaced, injuries are bypassed, mutations are removed. But a problem appears. The immune system rejects what is not its own, and every body is a new system. This means either synchronizing the organism or creating universal bodies. Medicine also begins to work with the mind. If the psyche cannot adapt, the treatment is no longer for the body, but for the sense of self. Now, the main focus of medicine is not the body, but the person. If the body becomes replaceable, it turns into a resource. A market emerges. Endurance, appearance, voice. The body is no longer fate, it's a choice, and every choice has a price. Basic and premium versions appear, and with freedom comes inequality. Differences become a product. So the question shifts. If a body can be bought, what remains constant? Consciousness. The brain is plastic, but not infinitely so. Adapting to a new body requires energy and stable patterns. Constant changes in perception, coordination, and hormones overload the system. If changes happen too often, the mind begins to lose its sense of continuity. There is a risk of fragmentation, when past versions of yourself feel like someone else. And at that point, the freedom to transform meets a biological limit of adaptation. If a person can change bodies endlessly, the final question arises: what exactly do we call ourselves? Not form, not age, not hormones. What remains is the sequence of memories, personal history, continuity of consciousness. Yet even memory depends on biochemistry and neural stability. Perhaps the ability to change bodies would make humanity more flexible, or perhaps it would make us value permanence. Because when everything external can be altered, we inevitably search for something constant within. And that may turn out to be the most fragile part of being human. Subscribe, like, hit the bell, and keep upgrading your brain.